Hello, this is the MLB 30 for 30 series that we're doing. I'm Justin St. Peter.
And I'm Michael Hoeflinger.
We're going to start with the Miami Marlins. The Miami Marlins are a very young team, which can be both a strength and a weakness to their club.
Yep, they've got a great young pitcher named Jose Fernandez. Very stellar year last year. Really came on. Great story, too, coming up as a young kid. He's very young.
He was an all-star last year. He has potential to be a Cy Young candidate this year. He probably was in this discussion last year, too. He will be their ace for years to come. Hopefully he's not traded a la Dontrelle Willis, Josh Beckett, and all them. He is the Marlins' future at the starting rotation. To go along with those starting pitchers, they also have Nathan Eovaldi, Jacob Turner, Henderson Alvarez, a lot of good young depth.
Yeah, definitely some young upcoming pitchers that they're going to look forward to. They got to have these guys need to perform as well if they're going to be successful. Jose Fernandez can't do it all; can only pitch one every 5 days. But definitely some up and coming talent. Marlins probably not going to be much of a contender this year, but they're going to work towards that in the next couple of years. But pitching definitely young coming up. Jose Fernandez definitely their leader and their ace. Some bold predictions for them is I believe that he's going to throw a no-hitter this season. Definitely a key component to how they're going to succeed.
I actually think that Jose Fernandez will have a great year too. But to go along with his no-hitter prediction, Henderson Alvarez actually threw a no-hitter in the last day of the season last year, which was it's a pretty awesome story. He bounced around a couple different teams, and he's finally stuck with the Marlins. So it's a good story for him.
Yeah, definitely a great way for the dismal season last year to end. Maybe he'll carry over a little bit, and maybe he'll have a great year. And with that, though said, sometimes pitchers throw a no-hitter, and sometimes it's the worst thing for their careers. They really struggle afterwards. But he had a whole season to bounce back.
Mm-hmm. Steve Cishek, all-star closer. What can you say about him?
He's definitely a very unknown bullpen pitcher. You don't want to be losing when he comes in. Odds are he's going to shut the door for you. He won't blow many saves, if any. Probably an all-star candidate for the Marlins too. As if you're going to have a pitcher in the all-star game, it'd be him and Fernandez. And very underrated. Definitely a guy to watch out for. You don't want to be losing when he comes in.
The problem for the Marlins will be to get to Cishek. Their bullpen is not very strong.
Yeah, I agree. Not really anyone that you're going to be. Not too many you're going to be feared upon to really face. Cishek is the one guy, but other than that, you can make late inning runs off these guys.
To go along with their struggling bullpen, the Marlins have signed Carlos Marmol to a non-roster invite to get a chance to make the club.
Yeah, just wild pitcher. Got a great slider when he can control it, but if you can be patient, you can draw plenty of walks, and then he'll leave a fat one, and then you can really rip one and maybe get a home run, double off the wall, something, and he can definitely be scored upon.
To go to their hitters, Mike Stanton, he's been the power numbers.
Giancarlo Stanton now.
Oh, Giancarlo, sorry. Whoops. He has been their top hitter for the last 2 years, but there's a potential trade.
Yeah, I think Giancarlo Stanton's performing really well lately. He's got those big home run numbers if he can stay healthy. I foresee a trade kind of possibly before the All-Star game. He's definitely an All-Star. He could be representing the Marlins as an All-Star game if he's still on the club at that time, but this could be a player that may be traded before the All-Star game even happens. It depends on his health. If he's healthy all season, I can almost guarantee you he's going to be traded this year. But if he's injured, the Marlins may have to keep him still.
He was not too happy when the Marlins traded all their big signings last year before the season to the Blue Jays.
Yeah, they traded like everyone they had worked towards that was really good on their team except him. So they basically just left him to be their team.
Yeah. They also have 3 young outfielders waiting in the wings. Jake Marisnick, Marcell Ozuna, and Christian Yelich all had great years last year, and Giancarlo Stanton was hurt for a significant portion of the year, and they all stepped in and performed very well. So the Marlins do have a lot of options in the outfield, which is why a Stanton trade will make a lot of sense to them.
Yeah, definitely. That youth movement is going to happen down in South Beach. They saw that they have 3 outfielders that can do the job. They can trade Stanton, get some great prospects, maybe another pitcher or some infield help, something that they need.
To go along with the infield, The Marlins went out and got World Series winning catcher Jared Saltalamacchia.
Yep, he went from the top of the world all the way down. He's kind of all-star World Series champion to bottom dweller of the division, really no chance to make the playoffs. So he's definitely going to be one of their focal points, though, in the season. He was not the highly regarded player at Boston, but he is definitely going to be that guy in Miami.
Money talks. That's all I can say there.
Mm-hmm.
Then Rafael Furcal and Casey McGee both are looking for redemption this year. Furcal came off a torn elbow, typically a pitcher's injury, and Casey McGee is coming off a year in Japan, both trying to prove that they still have enough to play in the MLB.
Yep, the redemption year for these two guys, Casey McGee, an ex-Brewer, and Rafael Furcal, an ex-Cardinal. Both have great arms. Furcal's got a cannon. We'll see if he can still have that coming off the elbow injury. Plus, definitely just looking to make a name for themselves again. These are, especially Furcal, all-star guy with the Dodgers, definitely a top shortstop. We'll see if he can regain and these two guys can find the fountain of youth again.
All right, the potential all-stars for the Marlins. We already talked about Jose Fernandez and Steve Cishek, and Stanton if he's still on the team.
Yeah, I don't see many others. I mean, maybe Saltalamacchia could be a sneak in there as a catcher. It's kind of hard to get in as a catcher in the AL, but he could maybe be a snub too. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of all-stars on this team. Cishek, I would assume, would make it though. I think it would be bad if he doesn't, unless he doesn't perform well. But based off of last year, I think he could be an all-star.
I agree with that. To wrap up, my bold prediction is that the Marlins will have a big increase in win percentage as their young players get a lot more experience, but the ceiling for them, to me, is probably second last in the division, maybe getting out of the cellar. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, they'll probably be competing with the Mets for the bottom, especially with their injuries there. I think, though, Jose Fernandez, though, will definitely lead them. I believe he'll throw a no-hitter this year, and will be in the candidacy for a Cy Young. I don't think he'll win it just because the team is not going to be competitive, but he'll put up Cy Young caliber numbers.
All right, thanks for watching, and we'll have the Tampa Bay Rays tomorrow.
Thank you.